Okay, so now we're going to take an angle and put it in the Cartesian coordinate system. One of the rays has to go along the positive x-axis. That's called the initial side. It's always there. Then the other side is somewhere in the coordinate system. It is called the terminal side. That's where it terminates. If you measure starting at the initial side and going that way, that's the positive direction. If you start initial side and go this way, that's the negative direction. So I'm going to take an angle, put the initial side here. Now, a quadrantal angle is where the terminal side is on an axis. So it would either be here, 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 or here. So if you notice, those are all multiple 90s, or negative 90 if you want to go that route. So if I said, what is the cosine of 90 degrees? Okay, you go, okay, here's 90 degrees. I'm going to pick a point because we're going in one direction. It's not slanted. One of them is 0. And I'm going to pick a point that's 1 unit from the origin. It has to do with something called unit circle, which we'll deal with in the future. But for now, just 1 unit. So that'd be 0, 1. That means R is 1. So cosine is x over r, so it'd be 0 over 1, which is 0. If I said, what's the sine of 270? You'd say, okay, right here. Again, I want to go 1 unit, so that would be the point 0, negative 1. So r is 1. R is always positive. You can't have a negative distance. So 270, it'd be y over r is sine, so it'd be negative 1. Then if I said, what's the tangent of 180? You'd say, okay, 180 is right here. That would be the point negative 1, 0. Tangent's y over x, so it'd be 0 over negative 1, which is 0. Now, you don't need to put a parentheses around the angle. I don't know why I am right now. Just trying to be fancy, I guess. So if I said, okay, what is the cosecant of negative 360? So you start this way. Whoa. So I pick the point 1, 0. So cosecant's a reciprocal of sine. R is always 1 if we're using the unit circle here. So it'd be r over y. So it'd be 1 over 0, which is undefined. Sine and cosine are never undefined, but the other 4 can be. So if you noticed, we only have 4 ordered pairs that are used. When you're on this axis, it's 1, 0. When you're on this axis, it's 0, 1. When you're on this axis, it's negative 1, 0. And when you're on this axis, it's 0, negative 1. So there's an infinite number of angles, but there's only 4 points that you need to use when you're dealing with quadrantal angles. So right now, see if you can figure out what's the cosine of negative 90. What is the sine of negative 270? And what's the tangent of, let's do 90. So figure those out and then turn me back on. Okay, so cosine of negative 90, I like to make a drawing. That'd be right here. That's the point 0, negative 1. Cosine is x over r is going to be 1, so it's 0. Sine negative 270. We go in the other direction. This is positive. So let's see, we're using the point negative 270. Whoa, would be 0, 1. And sine is y over r, so it'd be 1. Tangent of 90, ooh, that's the same terminal side. And in fact, that has a word. If two angles use the same terminal side, they're called coterminal. So these two angles are coterminal because they use the same terminal side, even though they have a different angle measure. But it still uses the same ordered pair. Tangent's y over x. Oh, so it's undefined. Okay, good deal.